Hey guys, this is Greg Preet with Online Profit Strategy, and in this video I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why it's so important for you to have a blog. And near the end of this video I'm going to let you in on a little secret. In fact, it's the secret that every successful person who is leveraging the internet to build their network marketing business, it's the secret that they all know. And people that are not successful building online haven't quite figured this out. So I'm going to share that with you here. So you're going to want to make sure you watch this video in its entirety. So let's talk a little bit more about your blog. First of all, your blog is the most critical component of social media. And it's funny because when I ask people what they think is the most important part of social media, usually they'll say Facebook or sometimes they'll say Twitter, but rarely does anybody ever say a blog. But that's the absolute truth, is that if you do not have a blog, you will not be successful building your business online. You will not be successful attracting people to you, getting them to follow you. You might have some short-term success with one of the other platforms, but you're really not going to be taking full advantage of the opportunity that's in front of you with the internet. So most critical component of social media, absolutely without question, is your blog. Now, your blog is your platform for being able to establish that credibility that I told you was so important in the previous video. You're going to want to load that blog with useful content that really establishes you as a leader. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, how can I possibly do that because I'm brand new at this business? Well, here's the truth. If you've been in this business even just a week or a month, you still know more than the average person out there who's never been involved in this business. And I guarantee that there's people within your upline that you could talk to and you could leverage for information. There's probably company tools that your company puts out, whether it be tapes or seminars, whatever it might be. And I guarantee there is a plethora of books out there that if you just pick them up and start to read, you will become an expert on this industry and on the home-based business industry. It's just a matter of you putting the time in to develop not only your credibility, but to develop your confidence and then start passing that information on through your blog. And there's a right and a wrong way to do that, and we're going to get to all of that in future videos, but I'm just trying to set this up so that you can realize why this blogging process is so critical and important. The blog is really the only content that you can put online that you will actually own. If you have a Facebook page and you're putting information on a Facebook page or on Twitter, you are basically renting space from them on the internet. You don't own that content. Remember a few years ago there was a site called MySpace, which is basically a social media platform, and all of a sudden one day it was gone, and people who put content on there found out that it no longer existed. So social media platforms come and go. Now, that's not to say that any of the ones that are out there now will be gone, but you never know. You don't own that content. So you want to have a medium where you can provide content to people and that you actually own and can control that content. And the only way you can do that is by having a blog that you own the rights to, basically. And so, again, just another reason why a blog is so important. So not only do you control the content with your blog, but you control how long that content stays there, the longevity of your content. So here's an example. You post something on Facebook, and as soon as more people post, your information gets pushed down, right? And so very often you might post something and a very small number of people might actually read it because they just don't have long enough exposure to it. Same thing happens with Twitter, where a tweet gets pushed down almost immediately once it's posted. So when you are posting information on your blog, it can stay there as long as you want it to, depending upon your needs and your goals. And then finally, and maybe most importantly, you actually own the database of followers. If you build your blog right and you get people who are following you because they want your content, you own that database of followers. It can't be taken away from you. That's not true when you consider your followers on Twitter or you consider your friends on Facebook. If those if those accounts, if your Facebook page were to go away tomorrow, that database of followers would go with it, and you would no longer have it. You'd have no access to it, and that's simply not the case with your blog. You can develop followers, and you can store those names in a database, and that database is yours to contact or market to or strategically use in order to grow your business. So now here's where we get into the little secret that most people that are successful, they already know this, but the ones that aren't successful, they're not doing this, okay? And that is, you must provide value with your content. You must have a giver's mentality. Now, let's define value. Value is defined by your readership, not by you. So here's what you have to understand. You might have the greatest product in the world. You might have the greatest business opportunity in the world. However, your prospect doesn't quite see it that way yet. Would you agree? They don't. And so if you think that you're providing value by telling them how great your product is, how it can help them to sleep better, or how it can help them to make money, or whatever the situation may be, if your prospect or the person who's reading your information doesn't yet have that opinion, then you're not providing value to them. You're just providing advertising to them, and chances are they don't want to hear it. People don't want to be sold. People love to buy, but they don't want to be sold. So what you have to do, and this is your biggest job as not only an online network marketer, but also an offline network marketer, your biggest job is to figure out what it is that your prospect is really looking for. Sometimes they're looking for a way to make money, and they're not ready to hear about your opportunity. Maybe they want to hear or read an article about the benefits of a home-based business. And so what you really have to wrap your head around is that if you're going to have success building your network marketing business online, you really have to back away from self-promoting. You have to back away from promoting your business or your products or your company, and you really have to get in the mode of providing and giving information. Put yourself into the shoes of your prospect. What is it that they really want to know? And you have to be the person that's providing that information. Now, here's a great example. There are dozens of people online who are currently building strong network marketing organizations. You can find them relatively easily. And if you go to their websites, you will find that they rarely ever even mention the name of the company that they represent, nor do they mention the product line that they represent. Well, they do that for a reason, because they understand that as soon as you start talking about your company or your products, people are going to go away. And the object of the blog and the social media campaign is to draw people to you, not to push them away. So you really have to adapt the philosophy of you're going to provide valuable information to people and not talk about how great your opportunity is, not talk about your products, and instead become a trusted resource for people rather than being just a resource or being somebody who's just going to advertise and push their product or service every chance they get. Okay? And then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how you're going to use the other social media platforms to help drive traffic back to your blog. So instead of trying to build your business by using Facebook or Twitter, we're going to use Facebook and Twitter as tools to get people to go back to your blog. And if you do all of this successfully, and you're probably going to want to bookmark and go back and watch this video, because I've just given you the biggest of gold nuggets. Because if you can do what I've just said successfully, then you can have an unlimited source of leads really forever, because you're going to have people that are going to want to follow you for your information, and they will trust you because you're not trying to promote yourself or promote your product or service or company every chance you get. So with that, let's move on to the next video, and I'll talk to you there.